Has anyone watched the Olympics for the last couple of days? Because I've been reading different reports, and so far, since they're in Japan, is it safe to say that this year's Olympics should be titled? Let's see. Tokyo 20. I know it's 2021, but it should be titled Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. Simply titled the Otaku Games, because everyone's unleashing their inner otaku. Like, I did read one report about how one sharpshooter in the sharpshooting competition was wearing the wolf medallion from The Witcher. And when she came back to her native homeland, they were singing the song Toss Your Coin to the Witcher. And I thought that was beautiful. That was nice of them to do that. I mean, give the hometown hero a hometown welcome back with a song. So, cool points on that one. And I did read another report, if I'm not mistaken, about, let's see. One Olympic athlete did the full gear or second gear pose like Luffy does on One Piece. And then there's another report about, let's see, the gymnastic team. I don't think it's the U.S. team, but I know it was a gymnastic team that wore a outfit almost similar to Sailor Moon. And what else? I know there's a lot more, but what really set it off was the opening ceremonies and songs from various video games, such as Ace Combat, Dragon Quest, and let's see, what else? Final Fantasy, and both the Final Fantasy main theme from the first Final Fantasy, and what else? The Victory Fanfare of Final Fantasy. Now, because of Twitch and their rules, I can't hum the theme song, but if you look up Final Fantasy Fanfare, you basically know what I'm talking about. Or if you go to YouTube and type in Olympics 2020 video game music, you'll see what I mean. But yeah, they played those songs. And I'm like, well, they are in Japan after all. Nothing wrong with that. And it's about time video games get some recognition other than just being a scapegoat for the... Well, I'll just say it. At least video games are getting positive recognition other than being a scapegoat for the terrible violence that has happened in the previous years. And believe it or not, I actually did a research report on it for one of my classes a semester or two ago. And what I basically pointed out is that, and it's a whole lot to take in, so I'll just give you the Cliff Note version. Influential figures such as politicians and the media paint video games in a bad light instead of just doing their due diligence and doing the research of if video games are the cause for the violence that does happen. And to make a long story short, simulation over. Meh. The people that bash video games are the same people that never picked up a controller and tried it out for themselves to see if any hint of violent tendencies has arose. Which is such a shame because you're trash talking about something that you don't have extensive knowledge of. And that's terrible. That's like rushing into something without knowing what you're rushing into. But anyway, influential figures, politicians, and those who have the authority to speak in front of a wide audience and also gathering the attention of others, bashing a medium that can't really defend itself. But I, as a gamer, and I'm sure many of you feel this, video games are not the cause of any type of violence at all. And the reason for that is the people who are doing the act probably didn't have a strong foundation of what's the difference between right and wrong, or guidance of doing the right thing despite the circumstances or upbringing. Another way of saying it is they didn't have someone to point them and guide them in the direction that needs to be taken, and show them what is good and what is bad. Or maybe, just maybe, they did have people to guide them and mold them and whatnot, and the person still chose to do what is wrong. But in any case, the individual made the choice, and sadly video games are the scapegoat of that situation, which is a lot of malarkey. Because I know some good people who play games like this, who play games like Division 2, or games that involve firearms or fist fighting, and not once have they ever imitated any of the. They have never imitated the acts that they have done in virtual games, basically. So, my point is, it's not fair to judge something and blame a terrible situation on a medium that has no leg to stand on until someone actually does the research and see if it's the actual cause of it. Otherwise, just shut up and do the research. Because you're not doing anyone any favors if you're doing something without actual proof or evidence to the contrary. But we live in a crazy world. Action first, logic later. Sorry for the rambling. I just like talking, that's all. If you feel the same way, or you have an ejecting opinion, I don't mind hearing you out. Put it in the chat or the comments below.